Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're making koshari, which is the Egyptian national dish. And hopefully I said that right, but I said it with confidence, so you believed me. Unless you're Egyptian, you're probably like, he nailed that. And if you are Egyptian, let me know if I said it right. And also, have you had this dish before? I'm assuming you probably have. If it's the national dish, I feel like that's kind of popular. What is the American national dish? I never looked that up. I'm gonna guess hamburger. Probably not. What would it be? Anyway, take a guess on what you think the American national dish is or should be if we don't have one. And then I'll put it at the end of the video because I was gonna say I'll put it here, but that would hinder your guessing ability because then you would be biased by knowing the answer. Anyway, I probably need to get through this kind of quick because there's a lot of steps to this recipe. Even though it might kind of look simple, like if you're like reading through it, there's a lot of things happening at the same time. So it's gonna be interesting how I kind of do the flow of the video. I'll probably just follow the recipe's steps like in order, even though some of the steps I'll probably do in different orders. You'll be able to tell because it's all on stovetop. So you'll see other pots and pans and being like, he hasn't talked about that yet. So just keep an eye out. It might be a fun little Easter egg hunt today. I think I've covered the bulk of what we need to do. You know what I'm making. It's gonna be interesting. A lot of saucepans are needed. It requires 3 saucepans, like medium saucepans, I should say. And I don't have 3. So stick around to see how I solve that little conundrum, which should be interesting. Hopefully that doesn't mess everything up, but we'll find out. Anyways, let's run through the ingredients and then we'll get into cooking. Olive oil, rice, lentils, elbow pasta, vegetable stock, garlic, cumin, bay leaf, salt, pepper, onions, tomato sauce, Baharat spice blend, red chili flakes, red wine vinegar, and chickpeas. The first step is a prep step. Not a lot to prep, but still gotta do it. We have 2 onions that need to be cut in 2 different ways. One will be diced and one will be sliced. And then we also have garlic, which we need to also prepare in 2 different ways. 1 clove will be quartered, and then the other 2 will be finely minced. So prep all that, have them in their little separate bowls because we're using them throughout the cooking process today. And I mean, you probably could do it during things, so there's like a lot of like simmering and whatnot, but I find it easier just to kind of do it at the beginning, have them all ready, use them when you need it. The next step is going to be to make the rice, which it calls for medium grain rice, which is essentially sushi rice. I usually buy it in like a box like this size, and it's kind of expensive because it like adds up. There's not a whole lot. It's not a big box. But when I went to Costco, I was like, I know they have like a rice section. Do they have medium grain rice, which is, you know, sushi rice? And they do. So I purchased some, and let me go grab that. So I got 25 pounds of sushi rice now. So it's like a baby. Anyway, for the rice in this situation, we're going to, well, it calls for a medium saucepan. This is the situation. I don't have enough saucepans to do all this stuff, so I'm gonna use my rice cooker, AKA my Instant Pot, and it has a saute mode, so I'm gonna do the saute step with the oil for I think 2 minutes to kind of like cook up the rice grains a little bit here. And then I'm going to add in only 1 cup of the chicken stock because in an Instant Pot you do a 1-to-1 instead of 1-to-2 like you would in a stovetop. and then kind of just set it and forget it. So if you don't have an Instant Pot, follow the recipe. If you do, we'll see if this works. All right, time to get to doing that. Now it's time to make the lentils, which if you're not using an Instant Pot would require your second medium saucepan. But for the lentils, we're going to rinse them under cold water, which I'm not going to show you because you know how to rinse things. And then we're going to put it in the medium saucepan on the stovetop on like medium-high heat with the water, cumin, garlic, the quartered garlic, and a bay leaf. And then we're going to bring that to a boil, and then we're going to cover it, reduce it down to a simmer for 20 to 30 minutes. So I'll probably do like 25 minutes and then start checking on it. And then after that, stir in the salt, and you should be good to go with the lentils. I'm gonna assume, because this is obviously gonna span some time, so I'm probably gonna edit in all of the steps, but you'll see kind of future images of things like what's happening in 30 minutes from now. So enjoy. And now, potentially for our third and final medium-sized saucepan, we're going to make the pasta, which is just follow the instructions on the box. Simple as that. Now that we have everything simmering, like all the stovetops are just full, hopefully it's not all full because we still need one more to start making the sauce. So all the next steps are gonna kind of be sauce related. The first step for the sauce is to like saute the onions on the stovetop, and that's for like 7 to 8 minutes until they become translucent and tender, and then we're going to add in the garlic for about a minute until it starts turning a little golden. Now we need to add in the tomato sauce, the red wine vinegar, the Baharat spice blend, and salt and pepper. And I think that's all of it. If I forgot something, I'm putting it there. But you kind of put those all in, mix it together, and then you want to reduce that down to a simmer, cover that, and simmer for 20 minutes. Next is to kind of make like the toppings for the whole dish. And so that's going to be to deep fry the sliced onions that we have. And then I'm also going to deep fry the chickpeas. It doesn't say to do that, but I figured I have the oil out, might as well give it a go. Deep fried chickpeas sound better than raw chickpeas on top of all of this. Now, hopefully everything is done. Hopefully it all ended at the same time, because obviously I'm showing you me completing things like in a cascading order, but I mean, you saw it because of my filming style, it's all happening at the same time. That being said, now it's time to combine it into the kind of like final dish itself. So we need to, in a bowl, add the rice, the lentils, and the macaroni and cheese together. Stir that up so it's kind of like well blended, and then we're going to put that in a bowl, sprinkle a little bit of the like Baharat spice blend, then we're going to add the tomato sauce and then a little bit more of the spice blend, and then the crispy onions and the crispy chickpeas, and then you should be good to go. Here we have it. Let's give it a go and see how well I did, because there was a lot going on to make this, so I'm hoping it's a good payoff. It definitely works. I never really thought to put rice, lentils, and like pasta together, but that works as like a nice like pillowy, almost like base. Like it's very kind of soft and fluffy. I think that's like the macaroni and cheese kind of doing a lot of that lifting there. But the lentils definitely are gonna add like a good bit of protein, so this is gonna be a filling dish. And then that tomato sauce that we made on top has good acidity to it, which is probably from like the tomatoes, and then the red wine vinegar that we put in there. But also the spice blend that we made, the Baharat, that spice blend has a lot of good flavors to it. There's like cinnamon and oh, I'm blanking on the rest, but there's like a lot in there, so it's a lot of flavor coming through. And then you also have like the crunch from like the crispy onions, and then also I crisped up my chickpeas, so you got like lots of contrasting texture, but it all works together. And you have like a little bit of the heat from the red pepper flakes, so like if heat isn't your thing, put less. Like I definitely put less than what it asked for in the recipe, but put even less if like you're not into it, or if you just don't do any heat, don't put them in at all. I don't think there should be any heat from anything else. I mean, overall, it works. It's delicious. I think it's vegan. I'm not sure if the pasta is vegan. It's not really a thing that's on my radar, so I'll have to check that. We'll put like vegan with an asterisk. Definitely vegetarian, possibly vegan. So if that's your thing, this is gonna be a good recipe for you. But it definitely isn't really like a beginner recipe. So like if you're not comfortable in the kitchen, you might not wanna give this one a go, because you do have like 4 things going on at once. Overall, it definitely was hard for me to like juggle filming and cooking. So that, don't do that for this one, because you're like constantly stirring and like starting a new thing and then letting it go for a bit. It was quite a lot. And then I think I used like every burner on my stove, like at the same time, like they were all going. I should have taken a picture of that. That would have been good. It's like the first time that I've used all of the burners on my new stove, and that should have been a momentous occasion. But it was, you know, in my opinion, fun, because it was kind of like something new, a little challenging. So if you feel comfortable with it, give it a go. If you're new to cooking, maybe try something a little simpler, and then come back to this later when you feel a bit more comfortable. But overall, great dish. I'm happy to have it. I'm interested to see how it reheats, because rice and pasta, at least to me, notoriously aren't like great reheat to get to that fluffy state again. Like I'll use, but usually I don't make extra pasta. I probably should have done that in this situation, only made what I wanted. Rice, I typically just do fried rice out of, but I'm gonna be curious to see how that reheats tomorrow. So I'll put a comment of what I think of that there, because this is gonna be interesting. I mean, it should be simple to reheat, because it's pretty much like heat the base, heat the sauce, put it together. But I don't know how that's gonna turn out. Like, I feel like the texture is gonna be different. But we'll see. Only one way to find out. And on that note, bye, Mom. Still not dead. See you.